GiannisCredit, Brian Mazique. NBA 2K19 around late August or early September. NBA 2K20 will be released for every console and PC. It will sell insanely well, and it will have its supporters and detractors. For the most part, the game will be good, excellent, but there will be a few kinks. That's just the pattern we've seen with the series over the past 5 to 7 years, and there's no reason to expect any different. As we sit 8 months or so away from release, it's time to think hard about NBA 2K20 and what we hope to see from the game. I love putting together wish lists for the annual sports games. Check out my Madden 20 piece, but I especially enjoy conceiving and writing them for NBA 2K. Its layered sports experience gives me room to make several suggestions, and sometimes, my wishes come true. That said, let's take a look at this year's list. It's the 25 things I hope 2K adds to make the game better than it was last year. My career in neighborhood online and offline. My career. Not every 2K player wants to take their My Player online. Many of them don't want to be restricted by the archetype caps, and they shouldn't have to be if their player isn't going online. I'm going to tear down the entire archetype structure in the next section, but if that idea is too grandiose, merely separating the My Career experience to online and offline would solve some of these issues. Revamping the archetype and progression system. NBA 2K19 credit, Brian Mazique. NBA 2K19. Of all the concepts and suggestions on this wish list, this is by far the grandest. You're going to have to pay close attention, because this idea could sound a bit wild, but hear me out. The current caps on My Players were instituted because players were creating characters that some in the community felt were overpowered. To put it plainly, really tall players were allowed to be fast like Kevin Durant while still shooting from a distance with efficiency, like Durant. The caps placed on the My Players have limited the diversity, and it has made grinding to upgrade your character less fun. This concept even affects the NBA 2K League because their players have a hard time distinguishing themselves from their peers because the ratings are far too similar. I suggest 2K blow up the current archetype concept and allow fans to create players freely. I'm not saying 2K should enable you to create a 7 feet 7 inches, 360-pound point guard with 99 strength and 99 off the dribble three-point shooting. There's never been a player in the history of the game like that. I'm saying the caps should be far looser and should be based on real-life NBA players. A 6'11" character should be able to build his speed to the same level as a Giannis Antetokounmpo or Durant. A player of LeBron James's stature should be able to develop into a clone of the King, etc. However, it shouldn't be easy, and it should come down to more than merely grinding or throwing a ton of money at virtual currency. The grind should consist of accruing experience points through playing the various modes in the neighborhood. Once a player has attained enough experience points to level up, they must pass a test conducted on their My Court to earn the upgrade and/or badge. The higher the rating or more valuable the badge, the better the result required to attain the reward. For example, if you're trying to upgrade a 7-footer to a 99 off the dribble 3 and Hall of Fame limitless range, you'll need to sink 99 out of 100 three-point shots. Here is yet another wrinkle to this concept. The testing should only be available 2 days per week, testing Tuesdays and Thursdays, perhaps. 2K would take over social media on those days while everyone goes looking to move to the next step. Competitive and casual. Park and Pro-Am competitive players are dedicated to their craft, and many of them have aspirations of playing in the 2K League. They usually hate playing with players who aren't taking it as seriously, and vice versa. If 2K's neighborhood had a comp and casual Park and Pro-Am, everyone would get the best experience. Ball machine in My Court. This might be the most straightforward request on the list. I'd love to have a ball machine on My Court. I hate chasing balls all over the place while I'm trying to perfect my shot release and practice dribble moves. Better tools to allow startup leagues in Pro-Am. Private matchmaking was supposed to allow fans to set up their own leagues in Pro-Am, but the feature didn't work well for months, and it was not quite as fleshed out as it could have been. I'd love to see even better options in NBA 2K20 online Pro-Am leagues with commissioner capabilities that include stream hosting, stat tracking, and season awards would be ideal. This would allow fans to create their own 2K League-like experience. It would also facilitate more organized minor leagues for the NBA 2K League to pull from for their annual draft. Prospects would have built their own brand to a degree and gained some notoriety in the competitive 2K community. Organizations like the MPBA and WR could flourish and become partners with the NBA 2K League, or perhaps another group could rise up as an option as well. MyLeague, MYGM, and create a player carryover saves and rosters in MYGM and MyLeague. Everyone knows I'm a big franchise mode guy, and 2K already has the best options on this front. However, Sony's MLB The Show takes 2K to the hoop and dunks on them in one crucial area. The show allows users to carry over their saves from one version to the next. For example, if you had a franchise mode going on MLB The Show 18 when the new one releases on March 26, you'll be able to resume it on MLB The Show 19. I'm still waiting on 2K and every other sports video game developer to match or surpass this feature. Image uploader for offline create a player's WWE 2K has an excellent feature within its world-class creation suite. When creating a character, you can take an image of a face and mold it onto a model. How amazing would that be in NBA 2K? Coach badges. 2K has done a fair job making coaches matter during gameplay, but implementing badges that impact a team would drive this concept home. We have something similar in my team, but it could be further developed, perfected in that mode and also transitioned over to MYGM in MyLeague. This would make hiring coaches all the more critical. G-League play. This isn't for everyone, but for the hardcore MyLeague guys and girls, having some ability to play G-League games would only make the franchise experience better. EuroLeague play. The EuroLeague was removed from the game in NBA 2K18, and most American fans didn't feel the sting too much. However, international customers made their objections known. I'd like to see the EuroLeague return and implemented into the MyLeague and MYGM experience. Perhaps you could choose to play NBA, EuroLeague or G-League games. An improved halftime show. 2K has gone to the trouble of crafting a halftime show that appears to be a winner on the surface, but when you actually watch it from beginning to end, you find it's really pretty shallow. It's excellent that Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson are motion captured so well, but the highlight portion is disjointed. The plays that are shown are mostly insignificant, and there is no real correlation between the highlights and the commentary. Overall, it's not very good, and it is time 2K added some meat to the feature. Add a weekly wrap-up show for MYGM and MyLeague. As I've mentioned, MYGM and MyLeague are mostly stellar, but it would be nice if there was something in the game that tied your entire NBA experience together in a bow. A weekly wrap-up show with players of the week, power rankings and of course, highlights would really push things to another level. Allow a college rules set. There hasn't been a college basketball game on a console since 2009 when EA released NCAA Basketball 2010. The last time 2K dipped its toe in March Madness was 2007 with College Hoops 2K8. We don't know if or when college sports video games will make a comeback, but in the meantime, it would be great to see 2K allow users to alter the rules of their MyLeague to mimic college basketball. That should include a longer shot clock, a possession arrow, a shorter three-point shot, and more. It wouldn't hurt if you could also extend the size of the league to 64 teams too. 4-point shot as a rule change. I love the off-season in MyLeague. There is a feature that if enabled, your league will go through random rule changes. Some are more radical than others. The real-life NBA has discussed the possibility of including 4-point shots. Adding that into 2K would be as a potential rule change could be a lot of fun. The developers would need to change the gameplay logic on both the offense and defense, but if it worked properly, the new rule would make for some exciting games. In-season prospect updates, players from the upcoming draft class don't take on an identity until after they're drafted. Thus you really don't care much about them during the season. If the game gave you weekly updates on top, rising or falling prospects with video, it would up the level of immersion. Everyone gets so excited when they watch Zion Williamson clips. Imagine something similar within your My League or MYGM. Tattoos on offline caps. I've been requesting this for years. We can add tattoos to my players, but not offline created players. The Create a Player suite improved dramatically from 2K18 to 2K19, but this pretty important feature still isn't in the game. A few more body types for cap. As I mentioned, the cap system has improved, but there is still room for more body types. The sculpting in this area is still too limited. Random Player Generator. WWE 2K has one of the coolest creation features I've seen. It's called the randomizer, and it functions as it sounds. You click a button on the controller, and the game generates a completely random character. This would be helpful and fun in NBA 2K. Home court advantage. Sports video games struggle with implementing this concept. I think it should only be active in MYGM and My League, but there should be ratings drops and increases for role players in home and away situations. Stars are usually going to shine anywhere, but role players traditionally play better at home. That should be reflected in 2K gameplay. The impact on the ratings would be dictated by the quality of the home team in their own arena. Perhaps a Road Warrior badge could have impact and meaning. This approach would generate a real home court advantage dynamic. My team. Fewer Galaxy Opals and Pink Diamonds. My team is much improved in 2K19, but if there is one gripe I have with the mode, it concerns the number of players given the top-rated cards. I'm not talking about fans, I'm referring to players like J.R. Smith receiving Pink Diamond cards and the 1973 version of Wilt Chamberlain getting one of 5 Galaxy Opals. 5 GOS should honor the 5 best players in history. I'll let 2K decide who that should be, but my GOS would be Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson and a younger version of Chamberlain. PDs should be reserved only for versions of players who have won League MVP, NBA Finals MVP, been elected into the Hall of Fame or set a single season or single game record. Everyone else, including moments cards, shouldn't be any higher than a diamond. Remove contracts from my team. Almost every other sports video game collector mode has removed contracts. I can't understand why 2K is still holding on to them. Ratings and badges. Fix the hands rating. The hands rating in NBA 2K isn't being implemented properly. Right now it is supposed to affect how well a player makes tough catches and dives for loose balls. Instead, it appears as though it's being used to jack up player ratings for guys with significant reputations, even if their high hands ratings don't make much sense. Hands should affect how well you catch the ball, your ability to hold on to a rebound while a player is going for a strip, and it should also impact ball handling, and stealing the ball. New badges. Sacramento, California, December 27, Brandon Ingram. Note: user expressly acknowledges and agrees that, by downloading and/or using this photograph, user is consenting to the terms and conditions of the Getty Images license agreement. Photo by Theron W. Henderson, Getty Images. Getty. There are already a healthy amount of badges in NBA 2K, but none of them capture the greatness of a big man who switches well while defending the pick and roll. There should be a badge that recognizes and implements a big man's ability to stay with a guard for 2 dribbles after a switch. On offense, there should be a badge that pings players who excel at making shots after their man has been screened away from the ball. Players like Ray Allen, Kyle Korver, and Steph Curry have done well in their careers because of their ability to move without the ball, get to spots, use an off-ball screen and sink long-range shots. Adding these 2 badges would increase the amount of strategy in the game in every mode, and even in the NBA 2K League. Other modes and miscellaneous bring back simple player mode like LBJ Path to Greatness, LeBron James Lakers NBA 2K19 Credit, 2K. I really enjoyed LeBron James Path to Greatness in NBA 2K14 and the Jordan Challenge modes in NBA 2K11 and 12. Bringing back a mode like that dedicated to a different NBA legend every year would only make the 2K treasure chest more valuable. Consistent updates to hairstyles. This is a tough one to keep tabs on, but 2K could do a better job updating player likenesses during the season. Most notably, it should update players who have different hairstyles. Sometimes they can't gain access to rescan a player, but I think most 2K fans would be fine with a non-scanned render if the hair were more accurate.